No.
Well, shall we uh, do our thing today? How was your meditation in the last week, Barley?
It's it's good. I need to find time for it more regularly. It just kind of pops up for me, or
Uh huh.
doesn't.
Uh huh.
I want to stick to it. I just
Uh huh. Well,
it,
I have
it's
to
just
say, the
lazy, you
way
know.
I've found that I have to find time for it is make time for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen accidentally.
Ah. Okay. You have to think about it then. Yeah.
Well, and for me, it helps to have it as a part of my routine.
Yes. Yeah, are you still doing it in the morning then? Is that when you're
I
usually?
actually do it twice a day. I do it in the morning. I have a long meditation in the morning by myself, and then a shorter meditation in the afternoon with Carol.
Oh, okay.
Carol and I had been meditating together every day for probably 20 years.
Wow.
And for us, it's been a real good component of our relationship because, in some ways, it means kind of our highest goals are in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a bigger deal than I thought it was when I began.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think you need to figure out how to make it a habit, and to make it a habit, you have to. It starts off with an act of will on your part.
Mm-hmm.
I played piano for a while, and playing piano, there's a problem where to play octaves, you have to pass your thumb from over here to over the other side of your hand where it doesn't ordinarily go. And when you start, it just doesn't go there. And you learn to make it go there. And after a while, it just goes there.
Right.
And so meditation is kind of like passing your thumb. Okay, how about you, Cheryl?
It was good. It was actually different in the last week. I was following for 5 days. I was following a seminar. I don't know if that's what you would call it. Anyway, it was this deal through Lion's Roar that was a tribute to the wisdom of Pema Chodron.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were sessions there where they would lead meditations and stuff like that. So that actually is kind of what I was doing this week
Mm-hmm.
instead of my regular thing.
Mm-hmm. And that I still think stuff like that is good. These all these teachers have different approaches, and you
Mm-hmm.
can learn from them. You
Yes.
still you still have to be able to discriminate. We know within ourselves what is true for us. And
Mm-hmm.
when you listen to these guys, you still have to listen with your own discrimination,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
but there we live in a rich time where there is so much of this stuff that is available.
Yes.
When you do a search on YouTube, for instance, if you type in meditation, then you start getting all kinds of YouTube videos about meditation.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
And for me, YouTube has been useful because I do a lot of, looking at particular kind of spiritual things, and YouTube knows that about me, and it shows me stuff
mhm.
that I would not have found otherwise,
Yeah,
and I really appreciate it.
yeah, me too.
So thank you, YouTube. Thank you for your electronic blessings. Okay, well, very good. Let us then proceed with our uh, agenda for today, which is to start with some meditation. And mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment non judgmentally. Feel your breath in and out. Fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. Now, today I'm going to talk about stages of mindfulness, and this is from a Buddhist perspective. The Buddhists have developed their meditation systems for literally thousands of years and have organized it as a way of guiding us through the process and into the depths of meditation and spiritual practice. They define their stages of mindfulness and absorption, and I'll go through those stages briefly. The first stage is tranquility, samatha. This is the practice of one pointed middle attention, and this is exactly what we're working on now with our mindfulness practice. This is not the end of the process, though. Rather, it's called mindfulness leading to insight. The other parts of the practice are this insight. There's a preliminary stage of this tranquility that is called laya, or quietude. And for most of us, this is really what we want from our meditation, and it's a temporary stillness that comes and goes. The next stage after tranquility is called access concentration, and this is a powerful, unwavering attention to the object of meditation. And this access concentration opens the door to deeper absorption in the meditation. That's why it's called access concentration, because it gives you access to the deeper stages. These, after this, are these deeper stages of absorption. They're called jhanas, Jhanas, and there are 8 of these, and these lead to nirodha, which the Buddhists say is cessation or extinction. This is the cessation of the desires and cravings and conditionings. Then, after this, is what we're all looking for, they say, which is nirvana, enlightenment. Let's have some nirvana. The basic meditation process is called sati, or mindfulness. And mindfulness is the reality which gives rise to words. The words that follow are simply pale shadows of the experience. Mindfulness is really the awareness that is prior to thought. Thought is objective, thought of thought objects. Thought is for the mind. Mindfulness stills thought by directing it at some object. The mind likes objects, and so you use that in your meditation, if you will, kind of to distract the mind for a while. Directing the thought at the object until the mind becomes fully absorbed by the object, into the object, and just finally the awareness remains. And this is enlightenment, awareness of awareness, not awareness of any object, like is how we start with meditation. So it's funny with meditation, you start with awareness of an object, And at the deeper in the process, you get rid of the object, and it's just awareness aware of itself. That is more like what my practice actually is now. Is that's what I'm work on in my own meditation. And mindfulness or sati is also called mirror thought. It reflects only what is presently happening just the way it's happening. There are no biases, and it's not affected by your internal habits or conditioning. Mindfulness is non judgmental observation. It's the ability of the mind to observe without criticism. With this ability, you see things without condemnation or judgment. You are surprised by nothing. You simply take a balanced interest in things exactly as they are in their natural states. You don't decide and you don't judge. You just observe. This is mindfulness. And this mindfulness is what we practice and what we talk about each week. And now we'll have a video, Mindfulness Dissolves Thoughts. Attention is what's left over. So let me get to it.
It doesn't take long when you start to develop a practice of mindfulness before you realize that we are virtually continually bombarded by thoughts. They're like weather patterns in the mind. And there are sometimes nice, clear, sunny days, but there are an awful lot of cloudy days, tumultuous days, rainy days, turbulent, stormy weather. And again, challenge is how are we to be in relationship to all of that stuff that's driving our lives and our narrative of who I am. And so when you get in touch with what awareness really is, then the first thing you realize is that those thoughts are not me, and they're not mine. They're just like weather patterns. They're impersonal weather patterns in the mind. So then you can observe them like a scientist. Like, what is the nature of this thought? Where does it come from? I mean, and they come like bullets, fired out of a machine gun. They're very, very fast, so to speak. That's quite a militaristic image. But, another way is bubbles coming off the bottom of a pot of boiling water. If you've ever watched a pot of boiling water, say a glass pot, the bubbles tend to nucleate at the bottom. And then they go through the water and they go poof at the surface. So the thoughts are very similar, and that's where I use, and other people often use this term, the thoughts self-liberate. You don't have to get rid of them. People misunderstand meditation as, oh, I just sweep all my thoughts away and then I'm in this like nirvana. What you'll get by trying to sweep all your thoughts away is a headache at the most, because there's no way to sweep your thoughts away. They will get you every time. And then you can have millions of thoughts about mindfulness and meditation, and those are just thoughts too. They're not meditating. But when you see that you're not your thoughts, then you can watch them in this kind of impersonal, more sort of, if you will, observing way, with kindness, with self-compassion, because a lot of them are heavily loaded with negative emotion. And you can see that if you don't touch them, if you don't do anything with them, if you don't get caught in them, they self-liberate naturally in awareness. The awareness is like touching a soap bubble. You know, it's fun for kids and fun for adults too. Soap bubble, and you touch it, and it just goes poof. So I love that image. Like the thought is the soap bubble, and the emotion too. That's, you know, valencing the thought, and you don't need to do anything with it because your awareness is like, it's not even a finger. It's not corporeal. The awareness, just the embracing of it or the arising of it, like in the sky, it goes poof all by itself. And don't take my word for it. This is something that when you sit down and you begin to watch, you'll see this is not rocket science. You don't have to sit in a cave for 30 years to have that kind of experience. All you need to do is, in some sense, get out of your own way. Now, I'm not saying that's easy. That's really hard. But if you can have moments when you get out of your own way, then you'll see that a lot of the stuff that we get so caught up in, it's like, it's a mirage. And that doesn't mean that the thoughts aren't valuable. I mean, I think it was Einstein who said, you know, if you have one or two really good thoughts in a lifetime, you're ahead of the curve. Paraphrasing. So most of our thoughts are actually kind of mundane or imprisoning, but thinking is a very, very, I mean, it drives imagination, it drives creativity. So maybe we need to just create a bigger arena for our thoughts and watch how they not only self-liberate, but also inform each other in some sense. And then all of a sudden you see something that no one in the history of humanity has seen before. And you apprehend it because you're making something is being revealed to you. I won't say you're making the connection, but somehow a connection gets made, and that's called an insight. And you're going to have profound insights. I mean, science is, you know, sort of storied, you know, wonderful stories of eureka moments, insight, and it's usually not by driving thinking and banging your head against the wall. It's when you've thought as much as you've gone as far as thought can take you. And then you rest in awareness. Maybe sometimes it's in sleep, or you wake up out of a sleep, and then, you know.
Okay, and now we will have our final meditation and feel your breath in and out, and watch the mirror like awareness, just reflecting what is there. When a thought comes, notice it, and then return to the mirror. Be the mirror. You are not the reflection or anything in it. Just be the mirror. right. Now let's end with a chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. All right. Any questions, comments?
I have used not the idea of the bubbles coming up, but when my thoughts come up, I picture myself just taking my hand and kind of pushing them through.
Uh huh.
But they keep coming up.
Right. And they will keep coming up, but they only have the weight that we give to them.
Yeah.
That's one of the secrets,
Hmm.
and I think that's one of the valuable secrets, and you get it, early in the practice. Okay.
In these sessions I was doing, they described emotions and thoughts like clouds in the sky.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
it, whether there's clouds there or not doesn't change the fact that the sky is there and that it's blue.
Exactly.
And sometimes they're
Exactly.
there, sometimes the clouds are there, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes,
That's
yeah,
right. Yes.
yeah,
Exactly. And the consciousness is there. We are there, whether there are clouds or not.
right.
It's actually kind of cool to know that.
Hmm.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
Then I'll
thank you.
see you next week.
Okay,
Namaste.
Okay.
namaste.
Are you going to be at the UU on Sunday?
I think I'm doing remote duty, so I'm remote hosting. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's, no, another time. Maybe the following Sunday,
Okay, the next week I'll be there.
the flower one. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.